Got it. Moving on to game 2 on the slate, we went down to. This was in Minnesota, right? I believe.
This was in
Yes.
Minnesota.
Yeah, so not down. We went over to the Midwest, over to the Twin
Was
Cities.
it?
I think so.
Yeah, it was in Minnesota.
I think so. Yeah. The Mavericks played the Wolves.
Yep.
Let me give us the
No, I think it
breakdown.
wasn't that because
Yeah.
I thought it might have been in
Yeah.
Dallas, but I went.
Yeah.
I thought back to the jerseys, and I was like, the Timberwolves are wearing the white, but they done switched that
Right.
rule now.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right,
yeah.
you're
That's
right.
not a thing no more.
Yeah, it was in Dallas, so we did go down to Texas. Anthony Edwards scored 26 points, and the Minnesota Timberwolves held on for a 105-99 Christmas Day victory over Dallas after Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic left the game with a strained calf.
It's on my parlay, man.
A rematch of last season's Western Conference Finals won by Dallas fell flat when Doncic pulled up lame while running a play late in the second quarter Wednesday. Then it got wild when the Mavs erased almost all of a 28-point deficit in the second half. The five-time All-Star never made it back to the defensive end and limped off the court after Dallas called a timeout. It was only his second game back after missing 2 with the left heel contusion. Nonetheless, Kyrie Irving scored 39 points but was short on a three-pointer that would have put the Mavs ahead in the final minute after they trailed by 38 late in the corner. Doncic in his limited minutes scored 14 points. Rudy Gobert, we don't care what he did. Julius Randle played in Dallas against his hometown team for the first time since the blockbuster trade that brought him from the New York Knicks. He had 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Dre, talk to me about this game.
Well, first and foremost, there's a lot that happened. One thing you didn't mention was that Klay Thompson moved up to 5th spot in all-time three-point shots.
Yes.
Huge. All right, that happened.
Aggressive.
That's fine. Third quarter. It wasn't enough, though. Obviously, when you lose a guy like Luka Doncic, who's one of the top 10 players in the league, it's hard to make that adjustment. And the Minnesota Timberwolves were able to go on a run in that third quarter. You know, you lose your guy in late second quarter, you have to make an adjustment. The Mavs don't. And they were able to go into the third quarter being very aggressive, smelling blood in the water. And then Kyrie Irving said, that's about enough of that. Hey, fourth quarter. Let me tell you something.
Jersey, Uptown.
Hey, he said, I've seen
Uptown.
Yeah, he claims Uptown.
When? I never seen him claim nothing but Jersey. Look at it.
Watch this.
Pull it up.
Watch it.
He played games in the Bronx as a kid with his dad.
Uptown.
But he don't claim that's where he's from. We'll continue.
He claimed that's where his game was developed.
Anyway, let me just say this. Listen, I know that the Timbs won, but they're still ass because let me tell you something. They should that lead was completely erased. Was almost entirely completely erased. And yes, we don't care what Rudy Gobert is doing. And I don't care that Julius Randle almost had a triple-double. That team should be ashamed of themselves by the fact that they were almost eviscerated. If the Mavs won, there's nothing you could tell me about the Timbs, about the Timberwolves. They're trash. And I'm dead serious. If the Mavs won on the back of Kyrie Irving alone, you know how great he is. He dropped 39.
I wouldn't say it's on the back of him alone, though. They're a reigning Western Conference Finals champ that brought in Klay Thompson. So even without Luka, that's a strong roster. And they added all the shooting this year and got rid of all those bums.
It shouldn't be that strong to be able to come back.
No, that's my point. It shouldn't be that strong.
Let's put a point in that because I want to come back to that when we talk about quality of the product, because that's actually a quality of the product point that I want to make. But keep going.
I don't know if there's much more to say. There was historic numbers in that game, obviously. But for the Timberwolves, I mean, just be glad you kind of stole one. You got lucky because when Luka was there, it didn't look like they were taking command of nothing.
It was back and forth when he was there.
It was early in the game, yeah. It was.
I'm telling you, if Luka stayed in that game, there's no way the Timberwolves are pulling away.
So what I saw, a few observations I saw that the Wolves, and I've watched them a couple times, but watching them like this intently, the Wolves really play through Julius, which I think
I don't like.
I think they thought that was going to look different than it does. I think they thought they were going to turn him into a Draymond style player who just scores more, like 2016 Draymond. That is not how it looks at all, though. Naz Reid is still a big mismatch for everyone in the league, and I think they need to utilize that way more.
Right now,
he really can't be guarded by
baby.
anyone at his position or bigger.
But they still don't know what he is because he's not really a 5.
He's a tall 3. He's Lamar Odom.
I like
That's
that.
a really good comp.
I like
That's a
that.
good
He's
comp.
seen this before.
I like
That's a good
that.
comp.
He's
That's
a
a good
tall
comp.
3.
Wow,
He's a 6'9"
that's-
3. That man is a small forward. They need to stop
I
That's a
trying to
like
very
start.
good
that.
comp.
That's tough.
They need to stop trying to start these
That's a
3 and D small forwards. I mean, all love to Nickeil and Jaden Daniels, but Naz Reid is your starting small forward, man.
Yes.
The 6th man. I get that he was 6th man of the year, but with this roster, I mean, Conley, Ant, Nas, Julius, Rudy, that needs to be your starting and closing lineup. Because also I noticed Minnesota is long as hell. Pause. Their length on defense is incredible.
Yep.
And they only get longer if they would start that big of a front court. 6'9", 6'9", 7'1". I mean, good luck scoring in the paint.
Their offense is
And their switchability is excellent because Julius and Nas can switch everything. Rudy can't do anything.
Can't do nothing.
But
I might have to try that out too. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm telling you, they need to start Naz Reid as small forward.
The only thing I would worry about is his quickness on the defense. But
he's got it. He's got the length and he's got foot speed.
Let me say this, right?
Most of his buckets, he's taking guys off the dribble to fillet.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I'm saying, like, on defense, I don't know if he's going to put in that same type of effort.
And then you won't have to worry, even if you move into the starting position, you don't have to worry.
I'm going to have to try that on 2K. I'm going to have to try that on 2K.
You don't have to worry about bench production because Dante DiVincenzo is still around. I know he has been a bit of a shell of his former self, but even in Christmas game, he was coming out.
They're not using him right. They're not using him right.
No, they're not.
He's a catch and shoot guy, and they're asking him to be Lou Williams
because he played like Lou Williams.
Who is it? I missed the name.
No, he didn't. He was a catch and shoot player on the Knicks. This has been highly documented, bro, by the stats. The percentage of catch and shoot threes that Dante DiVincenzo got in the Knicks far outpaced what he does now. He's being asked to take a lot of shots off the dribble, and that's not his game. That's not his game.
Listen, on let me. Y'all gotta make fun of me and act like I'm just some Knicks. The Knicks, they get the best out of players, man.
Oh God,
we make.
We just talk about Dante. Could we not?
No, I ain't talking about Dante. He was on the Knicks.
To talk about
Why you
Knicks,
mad?
man.
Why are you mad? He was on the Knicks taking dribble pull up threes like Lou Will.
Was that his steady diet? I'll pull the numbers right now. That wasn't his steady diet.
He has a reduced role. That's the problem. No, it's not the type of shots alone. No,
it is the type of shots.
He had the ball in his hands a lot when he was on the Knicks.
That is true. He did.
He had more minutes on the Knicks.
That's true. But
I'm not fully disagreeing with you. I'm not fully disagreeing with you because yes, he was better off of catch and shoot, but he was
the majority of his shots. But he was very data about this, bro.
But he was very formidable off the dribble. He was running pick
and Minnesota saw that and said, "You're gonna now do mostly that," and that's not his game.
No, the problem is he doesn't have the volume shots. No, that's the problem. The volume of shots.
The problem
You're just wrong.
And he wanted to be in New York. He don't want to be in Minnesota.
That's a fact. But guess what? The problem is that they need a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, which they have, and they said, forget all that. Go be a playmaker. For what? Just have him do what he does best, man. That's the problem, Minnesota. They don't know what they got. They're still figuring it out. There's a lot that we can say about their playoff run last year, but this season is showing us it might have been a fluke. They don't necessarily know what they're doing. They don't necessitely know.
It wasn't a fluke. They changed their whole roster.
No, we just talked about 2 players that are key to their rotations that we've indicated they are 3 players actually that they are using incorrectly. 4 players if you consider Rudy Gobert. There's something wrong over there, man.
Let me see.
Last season, DiVincenzo made the most threes in the league with a touch time of 0 to 2 seconds.
Okay.
Amassing a total of league best 253 triples. So if you're not going to tell me that he is primarily a catch and shoot guy, you're crazy.
But he's more than that, though.
I didn't say he's more than that. I'm talking about steady diet. If the primary function of his game is catch and shoot, if his best attribute is catch and shoot, in fact, he's the best person in the league at it last season. And the fact that he's not getting as many of those looks this year, that's the problem.
He's not getting many of any looks. That's the biggest problem.
That's also true.
He's not getting a lot of minutes like that. He has significantly less minutes right now.
Let me tell you something. There are a number of teams that get Dante DiVincenzo right now, and he looks like he did on the Knicks.
I don't know about that.
No,
yes,
let me tell you something. You sent him to the Mavericks. They know how to use him.
Oh,
nope.
You sent him to the Mavericks. They know how to use 100
because they got to find.
Listen, Paul, you're focusing on his capacity and the fact that the Knicks let him use his full range of the game. We're talking about that the strength of his game. You can be productive not being allowed to use the full range of your game if you're catered to in the strength of your game.
That's the
problem with the Timberwolves is not that they're not letting him use his full range of the game. They're not catering to the strength of his game.
That's a fact. Now, let me ask you a question, Ro. Do you consider him to be a volume shooter?
No.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. He is.
The stats say he's not. He was one of the most corner shooters in the game last year.
Just because he took a lot of catches. He needs the ball in his hands, and he needs minutes, and he needs shots. He needs to be free. He had that on the Knicks. He's not going to get that anywhere else. Maybe for the rest of his career.
You're wrong.
I don't know if that's true.
You're wrong.
I'm telling you, there are a number of teams. He goes to the Warriors right now. They give it to him. He goes to the Mavs.
I was just about to say he was on the Warriors earlier. I don't remember him letting them do all that. I feel like he was catching shoot,
and he didn't look as good.
That's not true.
He looked pretty good. Warriors.
He had the best game of his career last year.
That's true.
But that don't mean he didn't look good on the Warriors.
He didn't look as good as he did on the Knicks. He never looked good like that anywhere else.
He was the best catch and shoot guy in the league. That's why he looked so good, man. And the freedom he got to move around is because they knew the ball touched his hands, it could go up at any second.
You're just the data just purely contradicts what you're saying, Paul. This isn't even
it doesn't. Just because he took a lot of catch and shoot threes doesn't mean that he wasn't a volume shooter.
It's not tape. Wait, what?
I'm saying he needs the minutes, the time on the court, the touches to feel comfortable.
Threes is what he needs.
You said what?
He needs catch and shoot threes is what he needs.
He's not going to make them if he only gets 3 of them.
Hold on. I think we're going I think we're going in a big unnecessary circle because
I agree. That's what he's bringing up points that have nothing to do with what I'm saying. They're not. If you don't disagree that the strength of his game is catch and shoot, then there's nothing to argue with me about. He's not getting it in Minnesota.
I'm saying that's not the issue.
That is the issue. That is the issue.
We're all saying
that's not the issue.
You're saying he's not getting minutes. He's not getting shots. We are agreeing with you. He's not getting the opportunity.
But we're saying he could still be a very productive and strong player if the strength of his game was catered to. You somehow disagree with that, which I don't understand how.
Because it's that point is null and void if he's not getting the time, the touches, the minutes.
That's where that's where the data just says you're wrong.
The data doesn't say I'm wrong on that. How does the data say I'm wrong? Because of his release time is short. Is short.
Yes, his most efficient part of his game is when he's catching and shooting.
That doesn't make any sense. So give him a lot of time. Give him more time. Let him get in rhythm.
Paul is correct.
That doesn't make any sense. What are you talking?
Because his release time. That doesn't make any sense.
Hold on. 1 second. Because we're getting skewered here.
I agree. I'm moving us off of it. I'm just trying to get actually the clarity of Paul's point because I don't understand his point.
Paul's saying we're agreeing just in different trajectories. We all think he should get more minutes. Okay.
Sure.
Pharaoh and I are saying he should get more minutes to get more catch and shoot threes because that's what he's best at. You're saying to get more minutes so he can get the ball in his hands and do more and be more like Lou Wills.
More specifically, you're saying the problem with him not being a productive player is that you're saying if he got more minutes but was still only treated as a catch and shoot, he would not be good, and you're just wrong. That point you're wrong about.
That's not what I said.
That is what you're saying.
No,
so if he got more minutes, but it was still just primarily as a catch and shoot 3 guy, do you think he'd play well?
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing to talk about then. That's all.
But the problem is the problem is the minutes because even if he was being utilized,
we agreed. We
agree with you.
There's a secondary point, but all right.
We don't care.
I know there is, which is you're trying not to say it now because you're doing that thing where you clean up your own point. But I'm gonna let you live.
I'm not cleaning up my own.
I'm gonna let you live.
That's why I want to make the secondary point because there's nothing to clean up. I'm trying to prove that. But
there's nothing to clean up. We already agree with you. We think.
Go ahead.
I don't agree with what his.
You know what?
See, That's why I want to keep talking.
He wants to say his real point. He wants to say his real point, and I don't agree with it.
Okay.
Listen, and this, you know who I really blame for this? I blame the Minnesota Timberwolves because they don't know what they're doing over there. They don't know. We just had a 5 to 10 minute conversation about how they are underutilizing a key player.
Two key players.
4 key players. There should be no.
They're overutilizing Rudy Gobert.
Okay, all right. Can I talk about Rudy for a second?
Rudy Gobert.
Can I talk about Rudy for a second? Look,
Alan and I were watching, and we saw the nastiest layup I've ever seen in my damn
life.
It was really nasty.
He's gross. He's not good.
At the same time, Alan and I were in my mom's place, and we both go, "What the hell? Hold on. wait, man. What the hell? Hold on."
You have to actually watch him play. Stop only looking at advanced stats. That man is not good.
You know what the problem is, though?
He has mastered being good at advanced stats. It's the nerd version of Angel Reese. Again, sorry to keep giving
get her back.
I'm sorry to keep giving her these drive-by shots. We love her. But in the way that as a rookie with little skill, she mastered statistical production in order to be a productive player, which I give her credit for, but everyone still acknowledges she has a lot of growth to be good at the game. That is Rudy Gobert. He has somehow mastered how to be really good at certain stats that get tracked. But if you look at impact on game and skill and ability, he's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrible.
He's French. They know how to finesse people.
Oh, nah. Oh, no.
No. Listen, it's almost Haitian Independence Day. Let me tell you something. You know what it is. Watch. All right.
Hey, Nabule.
Hey.
All I'm gonna say is
hey.
Rudy.
hey, man. Hey.
Rudy Gobert has a lot of gravity on the court.
What?
What?
Gravity?
What?
Is it true?
What?
Wait, explain.
What did you say?
No.
Gravity?
Gravity.
Gravity?
When they use
gravity more.
When they use him on the pick and
if
roll.
you can't find me, I'll look to the western sky.
Listen,
everyone deserves a chance to fly. I guess that's true when Rudy's in the
deserves
paint.
To fly.
Everyone gets a chance to when Rudy's in the plate, everybody deserves a chance to fly, huh? That's what happens. That's what you're telling me.
Hey, yo, NBA edit crew out there, I need you to make me an edit of Rudy Gobert defying gravity. That layup attempt defied gravity. You could find that layup in the western sky.
Wrong hand fading away.
He was wide open. All he had to do was just take one.
Yeah, he was wide open.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That was nuts.
Your ass, bro. Your ass.
But the thing is, he has a lot of. When you watch how they utilize him in the offense runs better. They get open shots when they focus more on Rudy than Julius. Right? Now, when Rudy gets the ball now, no, it's the truth. Now, when Rudy gets the ball now, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He never did. He never did.
He
never has. He never will. He never did.
That's a fact.
He never did.
He literally plays like a fifth grader who's like nervous to play in his first game.
He's that guy. He's that guy who came back after 6th grade summer and grew 7 inches and doesn't know how to use his limbs. Except he's 32.
I know it's like that.
You know those kids
like that from high school.
Use growth spurts and don't know what to do with it, and you feel so jealous. You be like, "Yo, fam, do you know what I would do if I was 6'4"?
Uncoordinated. He's the most uncoordinated NBA athlete I've ever seen.
The man is 30 years old and still hasn't grown into his body. You can see it when he gets in fights. He doesn't know how to throw punches.
No, that's a fact.
He just knows that he's tall and that he should be able to bully guys.
What are you doing?
But again, I do see why Minnesota kind of believes in him, right? I see because he has a lot of gravity, and they're hoping that he's gonna be able to make an open layup. But
he has gravity because we're coming over to steal the ball.
That's a fact. No,
if he gets the ball on offense, we are coming over to get that basketball.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Whatever works, I guess.
It's right. So they get open looks off of that, but
That's
But then he
crazy.
doesn't-
Thirst
talk
over
about
a
Rudy
trash
Gobert.
player. The defense
You gotta
gets
talk-
thirsty to take it from our worst offensive player.
Yes.
He's so bad that
The
it works.
fact
That's
the fact
hilarious.
that on both sides of the ball, Rudy Gobert is considered food is ridiculous.
He is.
He's not food on the defensive side of the
Yes,
ball.
he is. If I'm a guard, I'm calling for that pick and roll immediately every time.
He
What?
plays well, okay, on the perimeter, yes.
And in modern NBA, that means you're food. If I can
The fact that
drag
as a
you
big
out
man,
on a
he can't-
switch and kill you, you're food.
We
I don't
can't
care
trust-
that you're gonna
There's
be
a
at the
reason
rim
he's
waiting
still
for
in the
me if
league.
I
That's all I'm
drive.
saying. I see why he's still in the
Because
league.
because I'm not paying him $200 million to be home.
Oh, that's why.
The fact that we can't
It's
trust
Utah's
that-
fault. They gave him that contract, and now he'll forever have a job because ain't nobody paying him to sit at home. $200 million.
Listen, the fact that as a big man we can't trust him to hold the ball, just hold the ball in the low post, there's a problem.
He and Ben Simmons are on the same value contract. When it's over, there will not be another one.
No, that's a fact.
They're not getting an extension. They're not getting
Rudy Gobert gonna be on
re-signed.
somebody bench, man. He's gonna come
Yeah,
out
all right.
and back up.
He'll be on the French national team bench.
That's right.
They did bench him one game. Remember that? They benched him one game.
It's the next Olympics.
when they
His,
had
his
when
spot
they
is
had
gone.
Cat.
I don't know what you're talking.
When they had Cat's gone now. They can't afford to bench him with Julius. We gotta talk about Julius. In the
Cat was never on the French team. What are you
Listen.
talking
No.
about?
Wait, are you talking about Minnesota, Alan?
I said
No,
the
I
French
said I said the
Oh,
French
yeah.
benched him one
That's
game.
because that's
Yeah.
Wemby's spot. He's
They
just
had
keeping
Wemby.
it warm.
They had Wemby.
Yeah, one day Rudy Gobert is gonna be a Hall of Fame. Just think about that.
No, he's not.
No, he's for what?
Yes,
For
he
what?
will.
For
They're
what?
gonna put him in. They're gonna put him in
Hell
there.
Oh,
For
Hell no.
DPOIs, they're gonna put him in.
Weird.
Hell no.
He gonna go to
If
Springfield.
it's
Massachusetts
debatable
with a
whether
pink
Dwight
shirt.
Howard's gonna make it, Rudy Gobert is not getting it.
It's not. You think it's debatable that Dwight don't make
The
it?
narrative says it is.
I don't think it's debatable. But I'll tell you what, if Dwight makes it, Rudy definitely making it.
That's a fact.
What?
3-time defensive player of the year.
Four-time defensive
That's what they look at. That's what they look
Okay.
at.
Is
He's
Ron
like,
Artest
they're
making
gonna win. Ooh, that's a good one.
Who?
How many
All right, then.
defensive
All right.
player of the year?
Is Bruce Bowen making it?
They had 4.
Okay, then.
They had
Okay,
3
then.
defensive players of the year.
Right. How many does Rudy have at this point? 3 or 4?
4. He's got 4.
He's making
Bro,
it.
Rudy's making it, bro.
He's making it, man. What are you talking about?
Rudy gonna be in the Hall of Fame. That's nuts.
That's the
No. Draymond Green's gonna be in the Hall of Fame too.
In fact, he deserves it.
What?
Turn your fan off, Paul. But meant that he could do that low key, like the whole world when they tried to look into the camera like we didn't know who it was.
Paul, you
Like we don't
funny
hear
as
that
hell.
same fan
No,
in the 2K party all night. I know that fan. I
Paul
know
was
that
looking
fan
into
for
the
5
camera
years.
like he didn't know what's
Hold
going
on.
on either.
No, I just saw everybody freeze up. I didn't hear what y'all said. I said, wait, what?
Nah, you mad funny. You looked into the camera like you ain't know what's going on either.
I really didn't know. I didn't hear what was said. I just saw everybody stop.
He was all confused. That was hilarious.
I didn't hear what
That
anybody just
actually
said.
just threw me all the way up. What was I just saying?
Rudy's
Rudy Gobert.
Hall of Fame.
No, but all right. Anyway, moving on. The next game on this docket was also a really. Oh, sorry, we didn't discuss quality of the game. What did y'all think of the quality of the game? I want to chime in on this one because I feel like 2 things reared its ugly head that I think are main parts of the complaint that a lot of people have about NBA basketball. Injury.
Mhm.
I mean, so this is what I was saying. Remember how I said that a Minnesota Mavericks matchup should be one of the most highly marketed games this year because it's a conference finals rematch, and it's the 2 young guys who are battling to be the best player in the league soon in Luka and Ant, right?
Mhm.
And we get a Christmas Day matchup of it, and Luka, who's been out pretty much in and out all year, goes out in the second quarter, robs us of this back-to-back. So that's definitely been, we talked at length about the injuries this year. And then it's the other thing with the 3-point shooting this year, not this year, this era, the style of play, this get down by 30 and come back, it happens. And I remember we had an argument about it a while ago, and I said this, like, being down 20
Doesn't
is
matter.
regular. It's not even it doesn't matter. It's regular. Teams just allow teams to go on these runs where they're not defending and they let a bunch of threes go in and they're down 20 and everyone's calm and it's fine with it happening because they know that we can do one of our own. And we'll go on a 28 run, hitting 7 threes, and we'll come back. But what kind of game is that to watch? A game of trading 20-point leads or a game. I mean, a great comeback feels good. But does it, and it's entertaining, but is it entertaining when you look at it and realize it's unnecessary?
Unnecessary.
So it felt, I wouldn't say I got the unnecessary feel from this game because it felt inevitable. In fact, it even felt heroic at certain points because you lose your best player and you're expected to drop. You're expected to drop heavy, not 26 heavy, but you're expected to drop at least 20 points.
But no, right? Like you said, not 26 heavy. You have an all-star point guard still out there and a Western Conference Finals roster that is improved. And so the way they were able to come back and the way they were able to compete down the stretch, why wasn't that adjustment made earlier? Why do you have to go down 20 before Kyrie realized he has to put his cape on?
That's a fact. No, that's a good point. And I don't have an answer for that, if I'm being completely honest.
I think it's a Kyrie thing, to be honest with you. I think Kyrie tries to be a team player at times where he tries to get everybody else going before he tries to take over. And I think when the game was winding down, he said, we might lose this game if I keep doing this.
We might lose. They were down 30 at a certain point, bro. Like,
no, and that's when he turned up because, like you said, 20 is nothing.
But so I guess that's my point, right? Why is that the trend in today's game that star players wait until it's absolutely dire to turn it on?
Well, it's because of the 3-point shot.
Everyone wants to be Tracy McGrady.
No, it's too much. No, it's a fact. Everybody does. And you don't got to be. I feel like the minute Luka went down, Kyrie should have turned up.
Yeah. You're supposed to flip the switch immediately.
This is your time.
This is what I've always said about Jaylen Brown, right? This is why I respect the relationship Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum going. The two of them don't wait. The minute they see the other one doesn't have it, they go. And now that has fooled some people, including on this podcast, into thinking it's debatable who's the better player of them, but it's not. They just both understand their job. Jaylen Brown understands his job. When you are the 1B, when you are the second best player, if the first guy doesn't have it going, you are supposed to go. And Jaylen Brown is the second best player in the league because he understands that. The minute Jason Tatum doesn't go in the second quarter, Jaylen Brown is going. He's not waiting till they're down 35 to decide, I should go. JT doesn't have it tonight. And that's why the Celtics are who they are.
That's a fact. And a lot of teams could learn from that. A lot of teams could learn. A lot of players could. Paul George, I'm looking at you. A lot of players could learn from that.
Was the game still close by? I don't remember. Was the game still close by the time Luka went down?
Yeah.
What was the score?
It was relatively close. I think it was like within 5 points or something like that.
Yeah, it was back and forth the whole game. And that's even bigger point from a game IQ standpoint. Kyrie knows better than that. You have a back and forth game and Luka goes out. You can't let that back and forth nature slip because you don't know if you can do a 30-point comeback. Right? So if you're going back and forth, you have to keep that momentum going and keep this game close and give yourself a shot at the end. Otherwise, you're going to be tired by the end of the game, and that's when you miss short on your three-pointer to give yourself the lead.
Right. Literally right. Also, Clay, what did he end up finishing with?
He had a decent game.
I'm not talking about decent. Hold on.
Yeah, he had not decent. He had 12 points.
He had 12 damn points.
Yeah, but he only shot threes, so he was 4 or 10. He hit 4 threes on 40%. That's a good game.
That's not what they brought him in there for.
That's exactly what they brought him in there for.
No. They did not bring him in here to be 4 of 10.
That's exactly what they brought him in there
to be 4 of 10?
He's from the three. From the 3, that's 40%.
From 4 of 10 from the 3 is great.
That's great.
Like
5 of 8.
No. That's an impossible pace. That 5A is a great game. He didn't have a great game. He had a good game.
He had a game. He had the kind of game that he's asked to have. 4 10 from three.
5 8. That's not. They don't need that from every night, bro.
But he hasn't been having them. That's my point.
Completely doable in the red.
Okay, but you got the game out of him that night that you asked for. You got 4 threes out of Clay on 40%. My real question is, where was PJ Washington?
Nowhere.
That's what we need to ask for. Because you know why though? Because Kyrie waiting, he didn't slot guys into their progression. When the best player goes down, everyone's supposed to move up. If Kyrie doesn't move up, PJ Washington doesn't get to assert himself as the second guy. And then you're pressing at the end of the game. Now Kyrie Irving shot 27 shots. PJ Washington has only shot 8.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I don't know, man. A strong team is better than a strong player. Like an unstoppable team is more unstoppable than just an unstoppable player. So I think Kyrie was thinking about it like that. Like, let me get my guys going. And then on the defensive end too, they weren't getting it done. You gotta look at it. You gotta look at the defensive end too.
So how much improved is this Mavericks team then?
A lot.
It's very improved.
I think
they just didn't. I think they're too dependent. They have to learn how to play multiple ways, especially with the way Luka's health has been going this year. You can't only play the Luka ball dominant way. We've seen this before with many players, with James Harden, yada yada yada, etc. You have to learn how to play multiple ways. They should have packages for even when Luka's not hurt, when he's just off the floor. When they sub Luka out, they should have an offense. They should have a package designed around Kyrie and all these shooters.
Yeah, but I think it's going to happen. Sometimes you just need like a Kickstarter to force you to do that. And now it looks like Luka's about to be out for a significant amount of time. So they're going to develop that now. Kyrie's going to be that guy now. I think he's capable of it. So
think about my point broader though. Have you all noticed that that's a thing in the NBA? And do you think that's a valid criticism? Just allowing these huge
like the comeback wins.
Yeah, not even the comeback wins, because that's framing it positively. But that in the course of these NBA games that we're subjected to watch teams go down by 30.
Yeah, I think it's
regularly.
A good point. I think it's a good point, but I think it also goes back to like what I was trying to say before. Like part of the reason they go down a lot is because a lot of teams take bad quality shots.
Facts.
And does not make for good basketball. And so when they come back, when they come back from like big deficits, it tends to be because they just start making shots that they're missing in the first half or whatever. So yeah, I think it's bad basketball. I think because
let me say
it's not fun to watch. It's not appealing to watch.
Yeah, I don't want to watch a team be down by 30.
Yeah.
All right, let me say this, right? Because what I'm about to say, I've been wanting to say for a few weeks now.
Get your Paul Bingo cards out, Fast Breaks family.
The last time we talked about, listen, the last time we talked about the 3-point shooting issue, since that time I've been thinking about it a lot.
Good.
The way you fix this issue in the NBA is not by just telling people to just be more entertaining. It's on the defensive end.
I was gonna say, is it a 3-point problem or is it a defensive intensity problem?
I don't know if it's a defensive intensity problem because the 3-point shot is the hardest shot to stop. How do you stop it? I mean, it's hard. It's easy to defend and make difficult, but you can't stop it. It's hard. It's the hardest shot to block.
Is it?
Yes, it
Why?
is. So think about it like this, right? First of all, you don't have to cover as much ground to get to your shot because it's a far shot, right? Once you pass half court, everything is a 3 until you get past the 3-point line, right? That's the first thing. The second thing, usually it has a highest arc on it, right? And so for those two reasons, it's one of the hardest shots to stop. However, nobody has found a way. I thought Dylan Brooks with the high 5 defense. I thought that was going to
Man, that's so old. I hate that we start assigning new things to new play. Like Bruce Bowen Bruce Bowen and Shane Battier are rolling in their grave. They've been doing that since 2001.
Whoa.
Hey, they're alive. Hey, wait a minute.
I don't know. Shane Battier looked kind of dead after that Lakers Rockets series in 09. I'm just saying.
That man didn't come back to life on the Heat.
That's a
Oh, you're right. Nah, you're right.
Yeah,
right. LeBron brought him back to life. You're right.
LeBron, right? That's crazy. But yeah, no, that's how we stop it. Because at the end of the day,
but what does that speak to? Doesn't that speak to intensity? Isn't Dylan Brooks known for being one of the most defensively intense players in the league?
It's a strategy, though. It's a strategy. I think it's more than intensity. I think it's a strategy.
But don't you have to be? When I say intensity, right? I don't just mean rah. I mean like to be as intentional and invested in defense that you're employing specific strategies based on scouting and you're exerting effort. That's what I mean by intensity, the exertion of effort and intention and attention to detail, right? Like that's why Dylan Brooks does that, because he goes so hard on defense. He's thinking about strategies and techniques and things of that nature. True. And most of these players are, I think, satisfied with putting a hand up.
I think it's a team issue. That's what I think it is. Because it's a bigger issue than just players. I think teams are putting up a lot of threes. Everybody's putting up a lot of threes right now. And all of these threes aren't good threes, but some of the bad threes go in too. Because the three-point shot is one of the hardest shots to defend.
You're talking about offense. I'm talking about defense. Is there not
right?
Is it that teams aren't? Are they conceding that, hey, guys are gonna shoot threes and we have to live with whether they make them or not?
I think that's what coaches.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
So then that to me is a defensive intensity problem.
On the players,
coaches are not investing in employing or empowering their teams to play intense defense. They're worried about matchups and help coverage, but how about teaching these guys to defend shots?
So how do you?
I feel like they want the worst shooter on the floor to shoot, and they're just worried about that. Let's not let certain guys shoot, but how about contesting shots?
Well, okay, let me ask you a question. How do you properly, as a team, defend the 3-point shot in the NBA?
Contest.
It's an easier said than done to contest, to really contest a 3-point shot.
I don't know.
Have the rules impacted this? Because now you have the
that's what I was going to say.
Flagrant if you step under, the flagrant if you
That was my point. That was really my point.
Hard.
I feel like it's much harder for them to do it now, so they don't even do it.
I don't know. Luke Cornett
because
like he figured it out for a second.
Hold on. I feel like contesting a shot from a little bit of distance is probably worth it to them more than potentially risking a flagrant or a foul on a 3-point shot. So I feel like the rule change may be a point that you're getting at, Rose. So I feel like that has to do with it. But also could be like these guys just don't know how to properly. They never learned fundamentally from like a young age on how to properly contest a 3-point shot. That could be it too.
I mean, I feel like that's the culture in youth basketball now. Like no one cares about clamping. It's about outscoring each other. Yes. Right? Like my matchup is determined by whether I score more points against my guy, not about how well I defended my guy. I don't think anyone's going out in youth and intermediate basketball with the goal of not only am I trying to outscore my opponent, I'm trying to hold him under his averages. That used to be the sign of a superstar. Not only does he bust your ass, but you don't do what you usually do against that person. But now I feel like it's a your turn, my turn again between opponents. Like I'm gonna let you get your bucket, you gonna let me get my bucket, and we can see who's gonna make more shots between the two of us. But we're not really trying to stop you.
But I think this is where the difference in errors come into play, though, because guys are better at shooting now. So when you have a guy that could hit a shot, a 3-point shot at a high level, difficult shot, all of that, what are you supposed to do, right? Step up. Don't let him get to that shot. But then when he blows by you, then what? It makes these guys and
what happened to prioritizing making the offense take tough twos?
What do you mean? Tough twos?
Doesn't if everything is analytics driven, wouldn't the analytics say that we'd be better off selling out against 3-point attempts and allowing guys to take one dribble pull-ups?
They're not going to take one dribble pull-ups. They're going to go to the rack and then drop off to the big man. It's hard. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why that last conversation we had was I thought about it a lot since that last conversation. The way offense is in the NBA, it's so difficult to stop. It's going to take somebody revolutionary as a coach to come in and say, this is a brand new strategy that we have to stop the 3-point shot. And whoever comes in with that strategy is going to end up winning the chip. I'm telling you.
Well, the last big adjustment made
change the
to stop
NBA.
3-point offense that worked was Ty Lue with switching, with aggressive switching. But
Right.
NBA offenses have figured out how to beat switching because now they just matchup hunt, which also Ty Lue figured out. LeBron and Ty Lue figured out. But now, I mean, drop is not the answer.
It's not. It's not.
Because
Tim got to explain that, and I don't like that.
The problem with drop is the idea behind drop was that I'm going to give up the mid-range, but now the screen is being set, so it's a double thing, right? Because the guys can shoot from so far now, I have to go out to guard them past 3-point line, which then allows the screen to be set past 3-point line, which means if you're in drop, you're no longer giving up a mid-range pull-up.
It's a 3.
You're giving up a 3.
It's a 3. Oh, open 3.
So what happened to aggressive trapping? Because what every team doesn't have, is a Draymond Green and a short roll. And we saw that against the Mavericks. When they started trapping the Mavericks and asked Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively to make reads out of the short roll, they couldn't. Why are more teams not doing that?
That's a fact. Because I think these coaches are not as good as they used to be, honestly. Like guys
I think coaches aren't invested enough in stopping a guy to be willing to sell out and trap high.
True.
And there's no rotation because the thing is they're trapping high, the screen is slipping, and then they're just rotating a 3-point up the wing.
Yep.
And so it's turning into wide open threes, but that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I'm telling you, like the coach that comes in with this new strategy to stop the 3-point shooting, that's when you're gonna start to see the 3-point shots go down, the mid range go back up. That's what it takes. We're not gonna get to a point where we're not taking bad threes anymore by just saying we don't like this. This is not cool. We miss the old NBA. You gotta stop it, and then force teams to go back to that side.
I don't know if it's a go back. I just want, because I'm not really mad at how the offense is structured. To be honest, personally, I think it's good. I think what we're saying is we feel like the league is conceding to how good offenses are. And that turns into bad quality basketball.
Facts.
Because it's just a shootout. I don't care that that's your offensive strategy. I don't want to watch shootouts because in a shootouts can look really good if both teams are making shots. But if one team goes cold, that's when we get these 30 point deficits. Because it's a shootout with a team who isn't making shit.
69-97.
Like,